Stopped reading. Okay. Adolescence is fleeting. You have grown beyond youth and can become an adult. Yes! Alright, you've been dragged from your bed by your friends and neighbors. Trying to sleep here. What? They tell you it's time to grow up. You're taken into the woods. Okay. The neighbor throws you into the center of a great circle of monsters, all older than you. They whisper to each other, then look at you, then whisper some more. Get on getting on. The monster murmur and smutter and spit and snarl. They're deciding what to best finds you as a monster. Wait patiently. After a while, the muttering stops through the murmuring. Whoa, okay. After a while, the muttering stops, though the murmuring goes on for some time longer. Finally, the assembled monsters come to a decision. Well, what is it? The ring of monsters shuffles closer to you, forming a tighter circle. Others loom over you while... Excuse me. While the smaller adults crouch low, your surroundings grow shadowy and dark. Do your part in this area... Adulation. Okay, let's do my part. The other monsters hold you in some respect. Good for them. It's immediately clear to the crowd that you are a very kind monster. So nice of them to think so. The crowd shoves two monsterlings into the circle, each with a broken arm. An elder asks you to take care of them. I could either apply general first aid or gently tend to their wounds. Yes, you croon and pet the monsterlings until they grow drowsy, then splint their damaged limbs in silence. They leave quietly, feeling much better. Everyone cheers. Accept the respect and move on. I am a very kind monster, although I'm much more ferocious still. I'm not very respected, and I don't like that. You'll grow stronger over time, but your personality is no longer as mutable as when you were young. Onward to adulthood! I can either politic or explore the forest. Oh, okay. I see what the problem here is. I could either go explore or try to get the monsters to like me. Okay. I want to get this sword. I like swords. You find a red hood and a basket in the middle of the forest path. A human house is nearby. Funny, you never noticed it before, but there's a white picket fence out front. Circle the pretty little white house. Aww. Ask the wolf what happened. Woodcutter's friend. You can't trust them. Beware their axes, even worse than knives. The wolf finishes dying. He finishes dying. That's horrible. Bow your head in respect. Take and eat the wolf carcass. I'll bow my head in respect. You're not sure if you're respecting the human capacity for killing or the wolf's perfectly timed last words, but before you can come to a decision, you've grown bored. Be on your way. I'm not going to eat the wolf. That would be kind of fucked up. I'll switch every day. How about this? That seems interesting. You look over your garden. Garden? Garden. Most hovels have gardens. Many monsters don't care, but some like to show off their herbs, spices, and flowers. How's it looking? There are so many rocks there. Even if you don't feel like planting the things, it looks bad. These rocks ought to go. Stupid rocks, kick one. Start digging. Forget it. Be one of the monsters who doesn't care about garden. I'll start digging. I want to care about my garden. Shovel, shovel. Not all monsters pick good names. Just be glad you're not one of them. Okay. All this work is a lot harder. Keep at it. I'll do all the work myself. You dig, 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 dig. It's hard, but eventually you get better at it. Dig, dig, dig. When you're done, the garden looks much better. All that digging turned over all the earth too. That's probably a good thing. I'll catch my breath. The spine doctor, out for a stroll, stops to compliment your work ethic. You're not sure what an ethic is, but she always talks like that. Okay. Let's explore the whale mist. Let's talk to another monster. A flock of geese are in the square. No, honk. One can talk honk above the din. Honk, Nashgash screams. Last one to drive them away is a loser, and she's on that human scooter she found. Hound down a cool secret weapon of my own. The stick is mightier than the wheel. Sabotage Nashgash. No, Or grab the scooter for yourself. No, I'm gonna hunt down my old cool secret weapon. You run to Hammocks, hovel, and steal, or borrow the Phelps pet he uses as a doormat. Plonking it on your head, you run around toward the geese, growling and yipping. The geese swarm you. Uh-oh, you can think of 2 good options. Think fast. Out-honk the geese. Out-honk the geese. You honk so loudly that the geese think you to be the boss goose and follow you to the nearest pond. Nashgas accepts the loss and scoots off. What? I out-honked them? Okay, whatever. Alright, I'll do these little monsters, whoever they are. Balfrog and Gritmitten are arguing in the street over a cat. They both want the kitty crochets for lunch. Aw, sounds yummy, so what's the problem? Balfrog says he caught the cat, but Gritmitten says it was in his larder before it got out. Both the monsters turn to you as a neutral party to decide. Try to make everybody happy. Okay, Balrog holds the cat close, stroking it absently. The cat mews and rubs its head against his chitinous gripper. You are able to persuade Balfrog to give Gritmitten the cat's tail, so that's something. Gritmitten thanks you for your intercession. Alright, that's cool. You know what, I'd rather politic than explore. I feel like my monster has a good political career ahead of him. And he's gonna earn the respect of his fellow monsters. The fast sloth, hey! Hey! Is tearing roofs off hovels. Elders and larger adults charge at it, but it beats them back with its deceptively slow arms. What? Okay. I'm gonna get a closer look at the action. You watch from the shadows. The sloth leaps from roof to roof, its huge demented monkey. Rips loose a big piece of corrugated metal. I'm gonna bide my time. You realize you're the only monster left in the area. All the other monsters are far away. Some out cold and some huddled, just out of reach of those huge claws. Attack! Attack now! The sloth hardly seems to move, but it slaps you with a set of claws as big as your entire body. When you wake, the sloth is gone. Whoa, it really is fast. And big. Also, thank you for... also recovering from the fight. Thank you for helping. Cool, they liked the fact that I helped. Whatever. I'm gonna keep politicking. Human. You hear Gritmitten telling the younger monsters about the human that almost killed him. It's the pointy parts to get you, he says. Always wait until the knife is pointing somewhere else, then run away. He turns to you and says, isn't that right? Explain to the youngsters that... Didn't I take a knife from him? Explain to the youngsters that the human knife is always dangerous. Exaggerate the story to strike fear into them, or impress everyone by claiming to be an expert. I'm going to explain that it's always dangerous. Explain that you've learned about the fighting blades from the humans. The young monsters promise they will treat such things with respect, even if nobody's holding one. Because let's be honest here, I ended up cutting myself pretty bad on that stupid knife. You show your newest collection of human artifacts to your neighbors. They seem suitably impressed and listen in. Say more. The truth is, you just found them in the woods, but everyone seems so interested it would be a shame to let them down. Monsters do love a story, so you could stretch the truth. Just a little lies to keep things interesting, or tell the straight truth. I'm gonna go with the middle option. You tell how a talking fox, those nuisances are everywhere lately, tried to beat you in the riddle contest. With the artifacts as a prize, I won the contest by biting his head off. How do they react? Everyone seems to believe you. They nod in admiration. Alright, that looks like a thinking monster puzzle. Gobclaw shows off a human doll she found in the last hunt. A crowd of elders and the other monsters gather around you, excited indeed. She asks if you think it might be good to show the doll to some of the monsterlings. Let them see a human-shaped thing without actually seeing a real human, you know. Educational. Absolutely, because they should know what a human looks like, so they don't freeze the first time they see a real one. Good point. We want the young ones to avoid humans, but not be frightened they do anything foolish. You're wiser than me. The rest of the monsters nod half-heartedly. But you could tell they appreciate your insight. Like I said, I'd rather gain the respect of my fellow monsters. Today, the big Spinner 500, the big spider race. Winners are regarded highly by all around town. Let's do this! But your spider hurt her leg this morning. What should you do? It's a noble race. Watch with your spider. Cheat. She's normally the fastest spider in the world. Even the playing field. Aww. It's a noble race. I'll just watch. She rubs her healing leg and says, next year's the year if a bird doesn't eat me. Okay, apparently spiders are like dogs for monsters. That's cool. Monsters are gathering around the skull pole. They invite you to dance with them. Skull pole? A few monsters die without dissolving themselves in the communal spawning pit. Ah! Other monsters save the heads of the deceased and hang them on the skull pole. The skin and flesh turn to slime eventually, leaving only bone. Ah! Dance! The only problem is you've never done the skull dance, and now everyone is watching you. I'll wait for someone else to do it. Okay. I have a feeling if I mess this up, I'll lose respect. But if I slip away, I'll lose respect. So I'm gonna begin to dance. Oh, thank goodness. That could have gone so poorly. Alright. It's the sing along. Every monster screaming. Loudest monster wins. Scream! You're totally going to break some windows and eardrums. But why are all these monsterlings here? You know your singing has been to hurt their little ears. Pre-smash the village windows and then sing. You know what? I'm gonna belt it out. I don't care. Oh man, you sing out loud about loss and secret love and a plate with no pancakes on it. Your song is sad and strong, but the other monsters sense that you're holding back. The monsterlings, on the other hand, look terrified. I'll be nice to the little monsterlings. Windows crack, eardrums perforate, and monsterlings flee. Later you find out that they heard your screams in Znak miles away, so that wasn't so bad. I like how even though I wasn't Oh, that was loud. That was the sound of many coins falling off of my like coin bottle thing. Anyway, the snake moon is rising in the sky. It's time to gather snakes for the ritual. Snake moon? Sometimes the full moon has got shadows on it, and that's got to mean something. Monsters celebrate these shadows with snake soup. Okay. I'll gather some snakes. You wander the fields near whale mist. It's easy to catch snakes, but every time you reach for another one, some of them sprung out of your grasp. Most of the snakes are getting away. Keep catching them alive. Everyone claps when you arrive with 3 living snakes hanging from you by their fangs. The snake venom hardly stings at all. The snakes are added to the cauldron along with a mass of other snakes. Some writhing and others lying still. Join the circle as the ritual begins. And that was all of our in-town adventures. Now let's go some out-of-town adventures. Let's just do the 3 ones that have monsters. You are bringing home a human coat you found hanging on a tree when you see a cat waving at you. Wave back. The cat is standing on his hind legs wearing human boots. Oh, it's Puss in Boots, and indeed it's covered in human clothing artifacts. Save me, he cries, pointing at the wolf who has cornered him. Get the wolf! Another talking animal? Talk some sense into everyone. Who knew talking cats had flick knives? This one does. At least it jabs at you like a human would and flees as you howl in pain. And it took your new coat. Cats! Cats! That was pretty good. Okay, well that was stupid. You and Gobclaws come across an ant and a grasshopper, both locked in mortal combat, each biting the other's back leg. Get involved in this buggy battle? As you reach for the bugs, Gobclaws hold you back. Isn't there a legend about bugs and wheat? Maybe we should we should be careful. Silly Gobclaws. Wait, what? As you reach for the bug, Gobclaws holds you back. Isn't there a legend about bugs and wheat? Alright, I won't interfere. I got respect from her though, so I'm like respected 70% of the way. I'm pretty sure I couldn't have done any better than that. Do not correct me. A pack of monsters sets out to capture honey bees, a special swarm that carries its hive along with them in small pieces. The sweet odor of the rich honey is everywhere along the forest trails. Onward! Oh, Blistry says, me first, I'm not sharing either. What? You are such a nice little monster. It's every monster for herself today. Lunge into the heart of the swarm. You brush aside the swarm and return home with a delicious honeycomb. Even better, it's studded with crunchy bees. A few hundred stings are a small price to pay for this sweetness. What? Okay. Oh, you're growing old, my friend. Your body is very soft and you drip slime everywhere you go. It's getting hard to leave your hovel. Aww. Go to see the spine doctor. The doctor tells you that your time is almost up. You'll soon reach the end of adulthood, and you will either ascend to elder status or dissolve into slime. What did the monsters do? Their bodies melt in the spawning vat, where their memories will nourish the minds of new generations of morsels. And what happens to monsters that ascend? Those who manage to ascend become elders and live on to steer the fate of monster kind. I will turn to my hovel and prepare. A group of elders is waiting at the door of your hovel. They've seen your drippings. They know it's time for you to dissolve or ascend. Go with them to dissolve or become an elder, or ask them to come back later. I'll go with them. The elders of Omen surround you at the spawning vat. They built a fire beneath a small cauldron. Your body is squishy and damp. Examine the cauldron, be tested, and try to ascend to elder status. Dissolve, becoming one with the spawning vat, or it's my last chance to run and flee into the wilderness. I'm going to examine the cauldron. The rusty iron cauldron smells like electrolytic fluid and herbs from the whale mist. It's empty now, but soon it will hold blood and slime from many monsters. I'll be tested. A masked elder comes forward. She says, it's time to decide. All the elders growl and snarl. The masked elder claws herself. 3 drops of liquid splatter against the hot bottom of the empty cauldron. Thick vapor rises into the air. Was that blood or slime? You can't be sure. Depends on how much she respects you. The masked elder asks, who has already decided the fate of this monster? A few of the elders approach the cauldron and add fluid to the collection. The liquid begins to bubble. The masked elder has placed 5 flat stones on the ground before you. She says, choose one. Chance will guide your claw. Pick a stone that looks good. Fuck it. The other side of the stone is etched with a crude glyph. It shows one monster kneeling beside another, injured monster. The masked elder says, we will test your kindness. Be tested. A huge elder carries forward another monster close to the cauldron. The other monster is half melted and it's hard to recognize. It's Nashgas, or what is left of her. She's begun to dissolve, like you. and her condition is far advanced. What's going to happen to her? We have decided that Nashgash is too violent? There is a place for pure ferocity in our world, but it must be tempered with other qualities. Regard your own soft wobbly claws. See her eyes? She still seethes with pure rage. Perhaps you can calm her before the end. Oh. Oh, man. Oh, man. I could either console her or risk my own life to save her. I'll console her. I'll ignore the words. Aww. The huge elder picks up the now unresisting Nashgash and gently releases her into the spawning vat. And she is gone. Okay. So they have to test my ferocity now. Two large monsters seize you from behind. They growl and try to pull you apart. I'm pretty ferocious, so... You hold the cauldron which contains the portentous infusion. It's heavy. I'm gonna drink it. You drink the bubbling concoction, then belch, and howl. Your body solidifies almost instantly. You're an elder now. I think I did really well. Look at that. Everything's almost maxed out. I'm like the best monster I could be. In this stage of life, if you play your cards right, you'll be able to affect both the way monsters view humans and vice versa. Use your powers of persuasion wisely. This is how, well, monsters think of humans. When the inevitable conflict comes, this will determine how monsters act. The current score is 20 out of 100. Monsters dislike and fear humans, but you can change this. This is how well monsters think, or humans think of monsters. When the inevitable conflict comes, this will dictate how humans act. What do they think of us? The current score is 20 out of 100. Humans dislike and fear monsters, but you can change this. Where's Carmen? Alright, I can politic. Or I can journey to I'm guessing that's like adventuring. And the other one is doing more politics. But for now, what I think I'm going to do is leave it for now. I feel like this is a good amount of gameplay, and we'll come back to this at another time. I might split this into 1 or 2 different little episodes, but until we come back, this has been Fancy Sloth Nick, and I've been playing Monster Loves You, and don't forget to stay fancy, sloths.